So now we want to look at deriving. We want to look at deriving the quadratic formula. Now you will recall that all quadratic equations may be expressed as ax squared plus bx plus c. Now the way we go about this is by completing the square. But before we can complete the square, we need the coefficient of the x squared to be 1. And hence, we need to divide each term by a. So next term by a, and c over a, and 0 over a. Into a, that's 1, so we have 1x squared, or just x squared, which is what I wanted. And we have bx over a, c over a, and 0 divided by any non-zero number, which is what we assume a to be, gives us 0. Now we can complete the square, so we form our square here. Take the x, we split the x, keep the sign, split the b over a, meaning you multiply by half, and half of b over a is b over 2a. Now when we expand this bracket here, we'll have an extra b squared over 4a squared, because the last term for this expansion will be b squared over 4a squared, which we need to subtract in order to rewrite. So all of this represent, all of what we just wrote here, all of this is represented by that. Alright? And we have our plus c over a equals 0. So now we need x plus b over 2a all square by itself. I will group everything else. That is b squared over 4a squared. Add that to both sides. If you want to say you bring it over, it becomes positive. We subtract ca from both sides. So this will be gone. Or you see you bring over the positive ca. So we have minus ca over here. So we do that grouping. And then remember, for us to be able to subtract these two fractions, we need to have the same denominator. So we can make this denominator be 4a squared. And how can we do that? Multiply a by 4a. And for the fraction to remain equivalent, we also need to multiply the c also by 4a. So numerator and denominator by the same 4a. So we have an equivalent fraction there. And therefore that last term on the right hand side will be c times 4a, so 4ac, and a times 4a, that's 4a squared. So that we have that in our next step. And now, because both of those terms on the right hand side has a common denominator, we can just group the numerators. So one denominator, 4a squared. We can group the numerators, b squared minus 4ac. Now we're solving for x, so we need to get rid of the square, and we do that by root both sides of the equation. So we take the square root. Take the square root of both sides. Here, so we end up with that. So this now becomes just x plus b over 2a. And here, you're rooting a fraction. So you root the numerator. And you also take the square root for the denominator. So it's the square root of 4a squared, 2a. And of course, it's plus or minus since we're taking roots. So now, we want the x by itself, so we need to take ba from both sides. Take b over 2a, sorry, from both sides. So we subtract b over 2a from this side, we're left with just x. And therefore, minus b over 2a is over here. All over 2a. And you'll recognize that both of these terms have the same denominator of 2a. So we can group the numerators. Minus b plus or minus, oh, this was 4ac. This has this term here. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And this is how we derive the equation for the quadratic, or the formula for solving quadratic equations.